Top 10 greatest video game bosses of all time. The only rule is one boss per franchise. Let's begin. Number 10, Taboo from Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Alright, who besides me logged an obscene number of hours into the boss battles mode in this game? And am I the only one who's pissed it hasn't returned in subsequent games? Smash Ultimate puts a tiny amount of effort into the single player mode, so if you don't have anybody to play with, you're screwed, glued, and tattooed. I'm a proud Brawl apologist. Yes, it's not as hardcore as Melee, but if you want hardcore, go play Street Fighter 2 or Mortal Kombat 11 or any other non-party game. This isn't to say I don't love Smash. I do, and I also love the final boss of Brawl, Taboo. He looks like Dr. Manhattan's lost twin brother, except he's got butterfly wings instead of a flaccid phallus. As an adult, I could clip his wings quite easily, but as a little kid, on Intense mode, he was pretty challenging. You had to beat the boss gauntlet on Intense with every character to be a real gamer like me. His 3-ring release attack that covers every inch of the map will kill you in one hit unless you have the dodge timing down. He has a wide enough array of attacks that keeps you on your toes, unlike Master Hand and Crazy Hand, who I could just beat while twiddling my thumbs. His fast whip attack with a huge hitbox, his attack where he turns into a giant and shoots lasers out of his eyes, his mega spinning shuriken, the dragon head laser, come on, every attack is a memorable instant classic. Ironically, putting him on this list might be taboo, but I stand by my selection. Number 9, King K. Rool, or Captain K. Rool, from Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kong Quest. Like any great boss, Captain K tests you on all the skills you should be good at to have reached this point in the game. Donkey Kong Country 2 is my favorite 2D platformer game. The thrill of venturing to the top of Crocodile Isle to rescue DK and poach that humanoid croc once and for all. You truly feel that sense of progression and conquest. The music, oh, the music. It captures the energy and stakes of the boss fight perfectly. That is definitely in my top 5 boss themes of all time. It has a sea shanty pirate sound with those hitter electric guitar licks cutting right through the mix. 10 out of 10 boss theme. Donkey Kong Country 2 had some standout boss fights that put it over the edge, and above games like Super Mario Bros. 3, a game whose boss fights pale in comparison. The captain throws everything at you, firing cannonballs, all flying with different speeds and patterns. He shoots out ice that has various effects, like slowing you down or reversing your controls. If you love platformers, how could you not love and appreciate this boss fight? Enough said. Number 8, Sin and Yu Yevon from Final Fantasy X. Sin is a massive, indestructible, unkillable Luddite Leviathan. The entire plot of the game revolves around the summoner's Sisyphean quest, the end result of which is the death of the summoner and the defeat, but not vanquishing, of Sin. You can't kill Sin. You can only summon the final Aeon and make him go away for a while. It would be a sin, pun intended, to not take story into consideration when selecting bosses for the list. The story of Final Fantasy X enthralled me, as did Sin's design. One part sea monster, one part ancient ruin come to life. His appearance is so mysterious and raises so many questions. You can't help but want to see more of it and learn more about it. Sin is depicted as invulnerable. I love when the Al Bhed try to annihilate Sin with a huge artillery barrage and laser cannon, and both fail. Reminds me of the classic Godzilla movie where they try to kill Godzilla with escalating levels of force, and they all fail one after another. The final boss fight is more of a final boss sequence than a singular fight, but I chose Sin because of his significance in the story and how he is built up. You see more and more of what he actually looks like as the game progresses. Number 7, Gary or Blue from Pokemon Leaf Green. Gary is the only man in the world of Pokemon to reach the conclusion that having a myriad of different types of Pokemon on your team is advantageous. This makes him an imperious but worthy opponent. Your rival is the first person you battle at the start of the game. He's an ostentatious, smug douchebag. You want nothing more than to put him in his place once and for all. Each time you battle him, his team changes or improves in some way. He has Charizard, Gyarados, Alakazam, Exeggutor, Rhydon, and Pidgeot. Yes, if you have a perfectly calibrated team or you're way over leveled, it's not a particularly challenging fight. But when you're playing the game as a kid, you have a team made up of Pokemon that you love rather than ones that are uber powerful. At least that's how I play. I play with my heart, not my head. If you want a test of tactics and skill, use Nuzlocke rules, where the highest level of the Pokemon on your team is limited by the highest level of your rival's team. Number 6, Ganondorf from Ocarina of Time. On the original N64 and GameCube release, the final phase of the battle looked like it was taking place at the gates of hell or in your worst nightmare. It actually had aura, as Generation Z would say. All the best boss fights have multiple stages, and Ganondorf is no exception. First, you fight Ganondorf as a man by returning his magical ball to sender, shooting him with light arrows, and slicing him up with the Master Sword, or preferably the Giant Sword. Wait, wouldn't the Giant Sword not be able to hurt Ganon? Who cares? Then you meet up with Zelda and bail from that collapsing castle. You think the game's over, but now it's time to fight Beast Ganon, the real final boss, the perfect apotheosis of your arduous, winding adventure. The entire game is colorful and vibrant, but not this battle. Playtime is over. 5. The End from Metal Gear Solid 3. This is the end. My favorite boss, the end. The Metal Gear Solid games have the most memorable, iconic bosses of any gaming franchises. You can picture them all in your head, what they look like, sound like, how to defeat them, and so on. The End wasn't just a perfect boss fight. It was a stealth battle, and it changed what the phrase boss fight meant. Those of you out there who are Philistines may say, "Oh, I don't like it, it's slow and boring." No wonder contemporary games are designed for fried brain attention spans. They even have a creative and meta way of skipping the fight by setting your clock forward a couple weeks and letting the end die from old age. Or you can just kill him while he's relaxing in a wheelchair earlier in the game. But who wants to do that? You gotta give the End one last duel before he goes off to that sniper's nest in the sky. And no cheating, he only uses non-lethal weapons, so it's only fair that you would do the same. Just make sure you sneak up on him and hold him up at least once, because everyone needs that Trank Mosin Nagant in their life. 4. The Orphan of Kos, or some say Kosum, from Bloodborne. I am considering Soulsborne a singular franchise, for the record. It isn't exactly recondite knowledge that From Software makes challenging but rewarding boss fights, so it was obviously difficult to determine which one to put on this list. If you look at the Orphan's balance between tough and fair, challenge, aesthetic, fight flow, music, boss lead up, and arena, I'll put him on top. The foreboding, ominous ocean behind you with the masts of forgotten ships peeking out of the water. I love every part of it. Thalassic horror is a beloved niche of mine, and I also consider Bloodborne the best From Software game for what it's worth. So perhaps I'm biased. If you think a different FromSoft boss should have this spot, let me know in the comments. 3. Isshin the Sword Saint from Sekiro. Isshin the Sword Saint tests you on every single skill, every one, you learn throughout Sekiro, which of course makes him the ideal final boss and also the hardest boss in the game. The From Software secret sauce is the flow state and level of focus achieved when fighting the most challenging of their bosses. I find people who play these games can't get their fix anywhere else. Isshin is a prime example of this, which is why I included him on the list. His arsenal includes a sword, a spear, and a gun, a trio that he uses to great effect. He has long reach and even longer, elaborate, drawn-out combos, but the key to beating him is just taking his advice. Hesitation is defeat. Aggression and keeping the pressure on him is mandatory, so you don't need the patience of a saint to beat Isshin after all. Number 2, the Shadow Queen, Bowser, and Sir Grotus from Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door. Someone is going to say that these fights don't count since they're 3 different fights, but it's all part of the final act of the game. Also, this is a classic example of what I will call the fake-out final boss trope. Grotus, the leader of the lunar-dwelling militants, the X-Nauts, who has been built up the entire game, finally you get a chance to battle him. Then you fight Bowser and Kammy Koopa. It's a Mario game. Bowser's the final boss, right? Wrong. Enter stage right, the Shadow Queen, who at first takes the form of Evil Peach, which is a excellent design for Peach's short-lived goth phase. This final boss battle is a lot darker than a typical Mario game, like Mario Sunshine from the same time period, where the final battle is you fighting Bowser in a giant hot tub. Grottis and the X-Nauts are underrated Mario villains. They are much more serious and threatening than the common Bowser plan to kidnap Peach and have half Koopa, half human kids, or whatever exactly his intentions are. The Thousand-Year Door was shut the entire game, making your imagination run wild, pondering what lies within. The stakes are so high, the entire world is in jeopardy. You see all the places you've been, all the characters you've met. Then they all send you their energy, Dragon Ball Z style. This is the best Mario boss fight and a great conclusion to a flawless RPG. Finally, we have number 1, Mike Tyson from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! The only boss on this list that exists in real life, at least as far as I know. One of the most beautiful things about the NES era was that the internet wasn't ubiquitous and at a premium like it is now. You had to figure shit out for yourself, and word of mouth ruled the day. The saccharine feeling of finally beating Tyson as a kid, and being the first in your friend group to do it, is the greatest triumph a young man could ask for, and it unironically gave me a confidence boost back in the day, as crazy as that sounds. No boss is an island. The lead up must be factored in because it makes a tremendous difference. If you didn't know the 007-373-5963 code well, after 1 or 2 stabs at Tyson, you were getting demoted. Keep losing, and it's game over. You start from the beginning. Enjoy pulverizing Glass Joe's mandible for the 800th time. Tyson, or Mr. Dream if you're a communist, was an imposing, indomitable boss on a level that few, if any others, have been. Iron Mike being the heavyweight boxing champ and a threatening figure in real life contributed to this. Choosing a single greatest boss is a Herculean task, but for this list, Mike is the champion. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments. Bye.